Hello and welcome, Reds. Thank you very much for tuning in on today's daily Liverpool news show. If you are new around there, make sure you do hit that subscribe button, put your bell notification on as well, so you always do get notified when we do go live. But let me know your thoughts on today's news story. Everyone, hope you're having a lovely day. Let me know what you've been up to in the comment section below, and if you want to interact with the story as well, Henderson. He's got 2 years left on his current deal, which should take him up to around about 33 years old. But news broke today, and news doesn't break. Someone within Jordan Henderson's camp or someone in and around Liverpool has fed this information to the press, and obviously he jumped on the bandwagon, every single one of them, really. So obviously it's very important news. He's Liverpool's club captain. He's been very successful at the football club. He's went on leaps and bounds, not always been plain sailing for Jordan. We know how much he's come through with the football club, and potentially, as I said in a little drop down section there, could FSG cash in on Jordan Henderson at the current stage of his career? At the minute, we've seen with Jorginho Wijnaldum anyway, he's left Liverpool Football Club on a free. Could Jordan Henderson do something very similar in terms of Liverpool allowing Henderson to run out his the rest of his contract, really, which will possibly see him, as I said, up until he's 33. I'm not saying give him a 5-year contract, but for me personally, I want to know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. I love Jordan to retire at the football club, but FSG, their model in previous years, similar to James Milner, over a certain age, they don't tend to give players the back end of their career big contracts, whether they want to resell the player or any. And that we see with Steven Gerrard, James Milner, Gini Wijnaldum, they weren't that excited to really offer Gini that much of a big deal. Obviously, the wage demands of certain players as well. So it's very interesting. John, hey mate, hope you're well. Not too bad, John. Everyone, let me know your thoughts, David. Make sure you get comments in. Reds will be reading them out. Very angry. It's from David. Spot on there, mate. I fully agree with you there. If they don't look after the club captain, I will lose it. Love the guy, and he's been young sung hero of obviously Liverpool's success. David, you spot on there, mate. Obviously, I was working before. I wish I could jump on a bit quicker, but just seeing. It's interesting. I understand where they're coming from, but at the end of the day, David, as you said there, he's the Liverpool's club captain. Like, for the amount of work in which he does behind closed doors that all of us fans don't see, obviously with the NHS work and Everton, obviously helping the homeless as well with Rashford and Everton, and a load of stuff that doesn't get covered by the press and we don't see. But David, it's our captain, isn't it, mate? Mitchell. Long time no see. Mitchell, I want to gauge your thoughts and opinions. Every single one of you. Make sure you do get your comments in, and we'll be going through out every single one of them. So we've discussed, yes, he's got 2 years left on his current deal. FSG's policy, we've already discussed that. They don't tend to really give big contracts. So we said James Milner, Gerrard at the back end of his career, Gini as well, prime example in recent times. And just to see a tweet before we went out live here, everyone, don't look too much into it, just rumours again. According to reports, PSG and Atletico Madrid are supposedly monitoring the current situation surrounding Jordan Henderson's future talks, with talks of a recent disagreement over a new contract. Obviously, we see Jordan Henderson being on holiday off the back of the very successful campaign in which the England national team did have. But it's Mitchell, let me know your thoughts on that, mate. Would you use or give Jordan Henderson? Yes, and would you let his contract run down? Would you give him an extra 2-year bumper contract, which probably would see him up until 34, 35 years old anyway, or possibly 36? Let me know your thoughts. But for me, we're just fans at the end of the day. Obviously, the people in charge of the football club, and I'd be the one person that would be very deeply disappointed that this information has allowed to leak out to the press will be Jurgen Klopp. He's like every single one of us. Jurgen Klopp, he basically classes Hendo as his son, basically. And the fact that this has been allowed to come out to the press yet again, as Mitchell's just said, then Another PR disaster from FSG. Took the words out of my mouth there, mate. FSG, another PR disaster from FSG. Not having a GP, but there's always messing up very publicly. Henderson needs to retire. It was, yeah, you're spot on there. Make sure it's embarrassing how whoever's in charge of Liverpool's media team or someone within it is the media delegation in terms of information. Obviously there's big rules in place for leaked information, obviously due to contracts. Whether you can probably dive into it anyway. There probably is public knowledge of people's contracts out there anyway. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but you all know, but loads of you out there will probably know a lot more than me anyway. But yeah, it's a PR disaster, Mitchell, but it's FSG, absolutely FSG all over again, mate. So I'd say I'm surprised, but I'm not. We're not surprised, are we, everyone? Jack, this is absolute bollocks. And Gary, you hit the nail on the head really in terms of it's shocking. And I think Jurgen Klopp, and I think you've already mentioned in the comment section below, it's top of the show. It's more or less probably a PR stunt from Jordan Henderson's camp, possibly as well. Whether they want to throw out the line, see if anything bites from FSG's end, whether. But the fact is, and probably every single one of us would agree, Henderson needs to retire at Liverpool Football Club, regardless of whatever big contract you give him. Yes, he's 33 years old at the end of his 2-year period in which he currently got, but this lad has pushed Liverpool on to win our first Premier League title in 30-odd years, 2 Champions League finals. He doesn't need any explanation. The amount of leadership, he's been so integral to the football club. Regardless, this team is galvanised and led by Jordan Henderson. He's so integral to the plans the next 2 years onwards. Whether he does play 6 months within a season, the back end of his career, yes, he has got injury records as well. We have been discussing that as well. But whether you have him at a 60, 50% capacity, the back end of his career when he is 35, 36 anyway, he will be still an integral part, similar in the likes of James Milner. I know Phil Milner's very much got a different physical capacity. Milner's an absolute freak. He's similar to Ronaldo in terms of his athleticism and ability to really run through a brick wall. But yes, Henderson's got dodgy knees, but I'm not saying give Henderson an extra 4 years. That'd be very irresponsible from the club and all of us to expect that. But even just top it up, just give him a little top up to take him into retirement, as you've already alluded to there, everyone. I don't see Henderson leaving. John, spot on there, Henderson leaving Liverpool. The fans wouldn't let it happen. He means too much to us all. Yeah, John, if this was the case, John, and I think every single one of us would all definitely make a stand. The fact that this has been allowed to correlate and get to the press, there's a reason why information has trickled through. And I think in a couple of weeks, or possibly even day after, something will come out, and there's one person that will be straight into the offices of FSG, will be that man Jurgen Klopp anyway, because Jordan Henderson is our leader. Extend his contract at least 3 years. So yeah, what would that take him up to? 35, 36, Gary? Yeah, and then you can retire, mate, because unless the club see something physically that us fans don't, in terms of obviously scans or in terms of his knee or physical fatigue, really in terms of his the sports science people would know a lot more than all us, or if there's information that we're not seeing, then the football club should definitely let us know in terms of or Jordan will, I think he'll be straight out, or he'll make a comment within the next couple of hours on his social media account just to clarify a certain situation. Jack Jordan will be part of the coaching staff. Gary, very much so, mate. Him and James Milner. I think that was speaking to my mate Andrew, speaking to you as well. Milner, don't know if it's official confirmation, but it looks like he might be possibly leaving the back end of this year. I think he probably will either integrate into Liverpool's technical staff or coaching staff, or whether he will go back to Leeds for, say, 12-month period anyway, and then just retire then. Hendo has said so many times how much the club and the fans mean to him. He would never want to walk away from that. John, yeah, fully agree with that, Reds, anyway. But yeah, we've covered the contract situation. We talked about the potential transfers. Clubs will be clamouring. I tell you, if Jordan Henderson did become available, but us fans around the globe wouldn't let it happen. But it's we've seen it with certain players in the last couple of years anyway leave the football club. Every player has the price. But off topic, would you take 100 million? No, I'd take no money for Mohamed Salah. Similar to Jordan Henderson, mate. I want him to retire the football club. At the end of the day, I couldn't care less as long as Liverpool are winning trophies. That's the most important thing. If you're thinking as a financial executive of FSG or someone up above Liverpool, at the end of the day, it's a results business. Henderson, Salah, this whole squad has been so integral to the fabric in which Liverpool and the roadmap over recent years that has led Liverpool to, we were like 6th, 7th for a couple of good years prior to Jurgen Klopp coming in. I'm just seeing the marked contrast and improvements. You don't improve by selling your best players, apart from if that player wants to leave the football club, i.e. Raheem Sterling, Coutinho and Suarez. If you want to leave, sounds. If you publicly say, I want to leave, then sounds. You can't do much to really. But what you can do is helping players wanting to stay by giving them big contracts and then winning trophies. By keeping players, you win trophies, and that's what Liverpool have been doing in recent years anyway. So continue doing, but never sell Mo, mate. I'd very much want him, similar in the ilk of Henderson, mate. I want him to retire Liverpool legend anyway. I can't even entertain the idea of Henderson leaving. Me too, Liz. It's absolutely shocking. Apparently, we've offered Grujic in a swapped for Milan, but Grujic, blah, blah. Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that, mate. That is very interesting point, Jack. We fans are ruled by our hearts, but it's the medical department see something long term. It wouldn't make business sense in their eyes. Yeah, Mitchell, I know it's so easy for us as fans all around the world to look at it, but at the end of the day, like any business, if you work for a bank or the stock exchange or whatever, there's always reasons for you to sign any potential future deals, because every avenue has got to be explored, whether that's your injury record, your health risks as well, how your performances in your job as well. So a lot of factors play into in terms of contract signing, mate, but it will be interesting. I think, Mitchell, it will come definitely a bit more clear in the coming weeks or possible couple of hours. Because I think if Henderson is the type of player that wouldn't allow like the press to talk about himself anyway. He's a sound lad about that. Jack, remember Rodgers wants to sell him? Oh yes, we do, Gary. We do. Where would you strengthen this summer beyond Kanate? You think we need a natural number 9 given the amount of cross we put in? I think we always need to strengthen in all areas, mate. I think obviously if you watched my last video, and I really do appreciate everyone for tuning in on the video we done yesterday, enjoying the sunshine. If you enjoyed the sunshine, mate. But yeah, there's always room to improve, mate. But obviously we got Bobby Firmino. He's so integral to the way in which Liverpool play our pressing football. We brought in Jota. We don't know what's going to be happening with Minamino or Harry Wilson or Shaqiri. So whether they stay, obviously Harvey Elliott's just signed his new deal, which is fantastic. And we're talking about Liverpool's future. He is one of the main men in the next 5 years, even probably less than 5 years, that will hopefully have established himself as a Liverpool first team in any way, mate. But yeah, it's all dependent, I'll be on in terms of what happens with Divock Origi. If Klopp's happy with keeping Divock Origi, I know a lot of the fan base is very up in the air in terms of the situation regarding him. But if Liverpool can improve in terms of the quality, whether you can get a better quality player than Divock Origi, and we sell Origi, Wilson, and the previous players which I mentioned, then sound. I think there's always room to improve. It's the fringe players which Liverpool, as we discussed yesterday, over the last couple of years anyway, it's about supporting the 1 to 11. We've got one of the best squads in Europe, so it's about improving on top of obviously the bench players and obviously the players in reserve. You look at the great teams around Europe over the last 5-10 years. You've always had a fully capable squad in every position. You've had possibly even 2 good players in every position. So I think we've got a trolley here. Abby, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. You don't have to put anything towards the chat, mate, but thank you to every single one of you that continues to support the channel. Really do appreciate it, mate. And that will obviously help towards obviously improving the channel. But as I say, no one ever has to put money into super chats and that, but anything that does go in, it all goes towards the improvements of the channel. But thank you as always, matey. Pickford the T-Rex. Yeah, Mods know what to do anyway if he misbehaves. What do you think we should do with Naby, lad? Personally, I think we give him another season. There's definitely a player in there. John, it's the $1 million question, John, and we've discussed in terms of, is he going to be staying fit for the whole entirety of the season? We've talked about Ox's previous injury record. So both of those players, and Naby has probably got the biggest career of his career, if you can say that, this coming season. So if he can stay fit, I think he'll be an integral part. And we've discussed Liverpool's any potential signs inside and coming into the club. But I hate it, and every single one of us all hate it. You're classing Naby as a new signing if he stays fit. You can't, because he's been in the football club for 3 or 4 years anyway. But he needs to get a good run of games because Naby's quality is there. He just hasn't showed it to the full potential at Liverpool Football Club due to previous injuries, which we have discussed anyway. If anything, Bobby must score more goals, Jack. Yeah, definitely. He definitely should. Gary, but I think he will do, mate. Obviously, the support of getting Trent and Robbo up the pitch, I think that helps so much more. And obviously, with Virgil van Dijk coming back this season and Canate, and then potentially Joel Matip coming back to full fitness is possible. And Joe Gomez would be a bit of a tricky one because obviously his knee injury, he had surgery on that, but it's great. It's looking positive anyway, but I'd like to see us sign another goal scorer to challenge our front three, Liz. Very much so. And I think Jota, he's already highlighted in his brief stint at Liverpool already that he has got the capability of scoring goals, whether you play him on the left, right, through the middle, or in behind the striker. He's got that ability to play all across. But I think he's got on there, Liz, and I think a priority, I think the press, the journals were saying this week, whether you want to believe it anyway, was Liverpool supposedly identifying a winger/forward, and then possibly if Liverpool do get rid of Henderson, which will be stupid, but if he's not signing a contract, at one point past me FSG selling him, or other midfielder coming in anyway. So that was it. But thank you very much, every single one of you. Hopefully I've reached out. I really do appreciate Abby, Gary as well, Liz, Andrew, John, Mitchell, and David as well. And every single one of you is watching this on the replay. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. If anything over breaks tonight, potentially, hopefully, Jordan Henderson does come out and release a statement, whether that be on his Instagram or on any other social media forums. Anyway, I'll be here as quick as I possibly can. But everyone, thank you very much, as always, thank you for the Abby, for the super chat. And as always, thank you to every single one of you that has dropped a like on the video. And that does support the channel, as always. Reds, I will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. Do a live stream as well. And I look forward to seeing you then. But everyone, have a lovely rest of your Monday afternoon. Try and get a bit of the last hours of sunlight. I've enjoyed it. I can't go back out because I'll look like a tomato anyway. I looked like Andy Robbo before I started sunbathing yesterday, and as he's already alluded to in the comment section below, I should be staying in the sun that long. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. You'll never walk alone, Eds. Ta-da.